on the latest information of what's happening after the FBI has raided several properties today in Oakland. Teresa, thank you for joining us.
Justine, I'm out here on Maiden Lane. That is the mayor's house right behind me. We have been watching as those federal agents came in. Let's listen in to everything that has unfolded throughout the day. FBI agents remove boxes, envelopes, and large containers full of items out of Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao's home Thursday morning.
Today on California Reports, federal agents at the door of Oakland's mayor. Boxes carried out of a home on Maiden Lane. A recycling company under the same microscope, and a mayor who 1 year earlier was on the cover of local news as the first Hmong American ever elected to lead a major American city. Prosecutors now call it a pay-to-play scheme. They say it started before she even won.
Well, federal prosecutors about to lift the curtain on a major investigation. The Chronicle now reporting the recalled Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao has been indicted by a federal grand jury. Good evening, I'm Ryan Yamamoto. You may remember back in June, the FBI raided Thao's home that she shares with her partner. Agents also swarmed several other properties connected to a prominent Oakland family. Our Lauren Tons has been digging into this latest development.
Sheng Thao didn't come from money or political dynasty. She grew up in poverty, was homeless as a young mother, and worked her way onto the Oakland City Council before running for mayor in 2022. It was one of the closest elections in the city's history. Thao won by just 677 votes after ranked choice tabulation in a crowded field. Her win was historic. Her governing coalition was fragile from day one.
Sheng Thao is set to take the reins as Oakland's next mayor. The Registrar of Voters is counting the final few ballots, but says there is not enough to change the outcome. Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Cook.
And I'm Ryan Yamamoto. Thao's challenger and fellow council member Lauren Taylor conceded this morning. KPX5's Devin Feely spoke with the mayor-elect.
We're excited to be making history here in the city of Oakland. I am the first Hmong American mayor in the whole nation.
According to the indictment, that's exactly when the alleged scheme began, in October 2022, weeks before voters went to the polls.
Your recyclables get picked up once a week, and you probably don't really think a whole lot about it again. The North States News' Devin Herenda did, and she has this behind-the-scenes look at the City of Redding's recycling program.
Rest assured that if you put it in your blue cart, it's going to be recycled.
Leaders with the City of Redding Solid Waste Utility are sharing the scoop on recycling. Assistant Project Coordinator Leo Coleman tells me recycling material from residents goes to their materials recovery facility where it's sorted and baled before being sent to brokers.
The other side of the story is a family that spent 3 decades building a waste empire. David Duong and his son Andy run California Waste Solutions, the company that holds Oakland's curbside recycling contract, worth tens of millions of dollars over its life. The Duongs had also been under scrutiny for years before this case, with state and city ethics investigators looking into allegations that the family funneled illegal campaign contributions to local candidates going back to 2013. So when the Duong's interests and Thao's campaign intersected in 2022, regulators already had their eye on this family.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for being with us tonight on Crown 4 News at 6. I'm Grant Lotus.
And I'm Vicki Libiakis. Our top story tonight. The Department of Justice is charging former Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao with 6 counts of conspiracy, bribery, mail fraud, and wire fraud. Her partner, as well as businessmen David and Andy Duong, also facing charges.
Here's the first connection prosecutors point to: campaign mailers. $95,000 in attack mailers targeting Thao's opponents, allegedly funded through the Duong network in exchange for promises Thao made if she won. According to the indictment, promises to extend the Duong's recycling contract, to buy housing units from a company they controlled, and to help install a city official of their choosing. Why would a company already under an ethics investigation take that risk?
Well, good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ryan Yamamoto.
And I'm Elizabeth Cook. Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao declaring her innocence and going on the attack today in her first public appearance since the FBI raided her home.
Yeah, this comes as we're learning about a shakeup with the mayor's legal team as a result of her comments.
That's the question that carries this story forward. The answer, prosecutors say, has to do with what happens after politicians take office, and what happened next didn't stay quiet for long. In June 2024, FBI, IRS, and postal inspection agents raided 4 locations in one morning: Thao's home, the Duong family's offices on the Embarcadero, and the private homes of both David and Andy Duong. Within days, a recall campaign against Thao, already gathering signatures, qualified for the ballot. In November 2024, Oakland voters removed her from office. 2 months later, in January 2025, a federal grand jury indicted her.
Now, 2 of the most closely watched Bay Area races will decide the future of leadership in Oakland and San Francisco. One is a mayor's race, the other is a recall election. Today in the Bay's Ginger Conejero-Saab joins us live in San Francisco this morning. And here we have it, this last-minute push from 5 candidates. It's all coming down to the wire in San Francisco.
That's right, Laura. And that's really something that you can see and feel on the streets of San Francisco. There is engagement from the people here, people campaigning.
Thao, her longtime partner, Andre Jones, David Duong, Andy Duong, 4 defendants. Charges including bribery, conspiracy, and honest services fraud. Andy Duong faces an additional count lying to federal agents, but the raid and the recall were only the visible part. Investigators say the money didn't stop at campaign mailers.
Now to bombshell court filings in the FBI bribery and corruption case against former Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao, her partner, and the owners of California Waste Solutions.
The government says defendant Andy Duong took secret photos and videos of politicians in compromising positions. ABC 7 Eyewitness News reporter Dan Noyes has been going through the documents. He joins us with the new details. Dan.
And Cameron, the trial is set in federal court for October. Prosecutors and the defendants, including former Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao, are arguing over what evidence the jury should see.
According to prosecutors, Andre Jones, Thao's partner, was promised roughly $300,000 through what the indictment describes as a no-show job tied to the Duong's businesses.
Questions had lingered as Thao's home was raided by the FBI prior to her 2024 recall. The indictment repeatedly refers to an unnamed co-conspirator who worked with the Duongs. The indictment alleges Thao and Jones tried to cover up cash payments for a $95,000 no-show job salary to Jones from the Duongs.
Court filings allege Jones actually received about $95,000 of it, including a fabricated $150,000 job at a cannabis consulting business run by Thao's sister, allegedly invented, prosecutors say, to help the couple qualify for a home lease. If that's true, this wasn't just about campaign money anymore. It was about an income stream. And there's a company at the center of it, Evolutionary Homes. Founded by the Duongs, it aimed to sell converted shipping container units as homeless housing to Bay Area cities, including, prosecutors allege, Oakland and San Leandro. A former San Leandro city councilman, Brian Azevedo, has already pleaded guilty to conspiracy in a related case, admitting he took a $2,000 bribe tied to Evolutionary Homes securing a city contract.
Good morning. My name is Jeff Tsai. I am counsel on behalf of Mayor Thao. We just have a short statement to make this morning. Today's indictment and the press conference that was held by the government earlier this morning was successful in grabbing headlines. But what it did not do was serve the ends of justice.
So how did investigators put all of this together? A big piece of it, prosecutors say, is a cooperating witness, widely reported to be a man named Mario Juarez, though prosecutors have not officially named him in public filings. According to court records, Juarez had inside knowledge of the alleged arrangement between Thao and the Duongs and provided investigators with information used to build the case. The defense disputes almost all of it. Thao's attorney has argued in court filings that the entire case rests on the word of a single cooperator with what he calls extraordinary credibility problems, and that there is no text, email, or note showing Thao ever agreed to a bribery scheme.
The indictment itself is chock full of allegations, but it is not chock full of evidence. And that's what we're going to prove in the course of our defense in this case. The case is built on allegations from an unknown co-conspirator that we believe, when the evidence is revealed, will show that my client has committed no crimes.
There's more. Recent filings describe secret recordings. Andy Duong is alleged to have taken what prosecutors call dozens of compromising photos and videos of local politicians, evidence they say could be used for leverage. Prosecutors have also pointed to a recorded call in which Thao reportedly said she didn't want to be seen in public with the Duongs, which the government argues shows an effort to hide the relationship. The defense argues this material has little to do with the actual charges. And then there's Vietnam. In July 2023, a business delegation of roughly 50 people, funded by the Duong family and including Thao, traveled to Vietnam. Prosecutors allege that during the trip, Thao grew concerned after learning a reporter was asking questions about alleged drug use and involvement with prostitutes by Azevedo, and that she took steps to head off the story. The defense calls this a distraction unrelated to the bribery charges themselves.
Sheng Thao and her attorney arrived early Thursday morning at the federal courthouse in Oakland, facing the federal bribery and fraud charges that she and her partner, Andre Jones, who arrived alone, took money from businessman David Duong, who owns Cal Waste Solutions, and his son, Andy Duong, who's also charged in the alleged alleged scheme to funnel money to Thao and Jones in exchange for city contracts. In court, prosecutors told U.S. District Court Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers that they submitted evidence to the 4 defense teams about 154 gigabytes of data, which they say contains about 250,000 files.
All 4 defendants have pleaded not guilty, and that matters. Nothing here has been proven. The government has to convince a jury beyond a reasonable doubt that an actual agreement existed, not just a web of relationships, favors, and money that looks bad from the outside. Which brings us to October. A federal judge has set trial for October 19, 2026 in Oakland, the same city Thao once ran. More than 70 witnesses are expected to testify. Former city staff, campaign consultants, bank employees, FBI and IRS agents, and executives from Evolutionary Homes itself. Strip away the mailers, the fake job, the recordings, the trip to Vietnam, and what's left is a question that goes well beyond one mayor. How did one recycling company become so deeply woven into Oakland's politics that a criminal case now has 72 names on its witness list? That's the question this trial is supposed to answer. Subscribe as we will be following along every step of the way.